Major news for Social Security beneficiaries. The $2,000 stimulus check that the president has been talking about since November is still very much in play. And today I'm going to answer the biggest question I get from this community. Will you be included? Are Social Security, SSDI, and SSI beneficiaries going to get this money? The short answer is yes, and I'm going to explain exactly why in this video. Welcome back to Benefits Post, your number one source for Social Security news and updates. Before we dive into this critical information, I need to ask you a quick favor. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button right now. It's completely free, and it's the only way to make sure you never miss breaking news about your benefits. We're posting updates every single day, and your subscription helps us continue bringing you this important information. So please take 1 second, hit subscribe, and let's get into this. Now let's talk about what's really going on with this $2,000 stimulus check. The president first floated this idea back on November 9th, and since then the questions have been pouring in from beneficiaries all across the country. When are we going to get it? How much will it really be? When will the money be deposited? And most importantly, will Social Security beneficiaries actually be included? I receive these questions every single day. People on retirement benefits, SSDI, survivors benefits, spousal benefits, SSI, you name it. Everyone wants to know if they're going to be part of this, and I understand the concern because when you're living on a fixed income, an extra $2,000 can make a huge difference. So let me break down everything we know right now. Here's the thing I see constantly in the comments, and I want to address it head on. Many people say things like, I don't pay taxes, I'm not working, I don't file a tax return, therefore I won't get this money. My response to that is simple. That does not matter. It does not matter one bit. Let me explain why I say that so confidently. When it comes to stimulus payments, rebates, dividends, whatever you want to call them, it is always about your income. That's it, your income, nothing else. Some people respond by saying, but I don't have an income, I'm not working. Here's what I need you to understand. Do you receive money from Social Security? That is income. Income is income. Any money coming to you is income. It does not matter where it comes from or what the purpose is. You do not need to be working to qualify. They have never once said that money like this is only for people with jobs. That's not what stimulus payments are about at all. They use your income to determine your eligibility. That's the only thing that matters. Now you might be thinking, but I don't file a tax return. How would they even know what my income is? Here's the truth. They know everything about you. Yes, they do. They know exactly what your income is down to the penny. And here's why. Every single year, the Social Security Administration submits documentation to the IRS about your benefits. At the beginning of each year, you receive either an SSA 1099, or if you're living outside the country, an SSA 1042S. This is a legal tax document that Social Security must furnish to you, and it's also furnished directly to the IRS. It outlines exactly how much money Social Security paid you during the year. So whether you file a tax return or not, the IRS already has your income information on file. If you don't file a tax return, that typically means your income is below the standard deduction, which is around $15,000 for 2025. In the eyes of the government, after the standard deduction, your taxable income is essentially zero. But here's the key point. They still know what you received. You are still on record. You are still in the system. So what are the income thresholds we're looking at? Based on how these programs have worked in the past and what we're hearing now, the likely thresholds are $75,000 a year as an individual or $150,000 a year as a married couple filing jointly. Here's the only question you need to ask yourself. Is your income below $75,000 a year as an individual or below $150,000 a year as a married couple? If the answer is yes, you would likely qualify for the full amount. Let me give you an example. Say you receive $1,000 a month from Social Security. That means your annual income is $12,000. Is $12,000 less than $75,000? Yes, way below. You would qualify. It really is that simple. You do not need to be working. You do not need to file a tax return. Your Social Security benefit is your income, and that income is already on record with the IRS. Now for the timeline. Based on everything we know, the most likely scenario is that if this $2,000 payment happens, it would roll out in the middle to end of the year. More specifically, I would estimate around October 2026. Why October? Because the midterm elections are in November. And this is not some secret strategy. Historically, when administrations distribute money like this, they often time it strategically before major elections. A $2,000 check landing in bank accounts weeks before people go to vote. That's a powerful political move. We've seen this playbook before. Now, I want to be clear. This is my analysis based on the timing and the political calendar. Nothing is guaranteed. If the payment happens, October would be my best estimate for when we'd see the money deposited. I want to address one more concern that I see constantly. People saying, I'm on Social Security, I'm sure they'll leave us out. Let me ask you a logical question. Do you really think weeks to months before a midterm election, they're going to distribute $2,000 to everyone except Social Security beneficiaries? Not a chance. Here's the reality. Who shows up to vote in the largest numbers every single election? Is it teenagers? No. Is it millennials? Not really. It's seniors and fixed income beneficiaries. Without a doubt, every single time, it is seniors and people on fixed incomes who turn out to vote in the highest numbers. So do you really think any administration is going to exclude these individuals right before a major election? Not in a million years. If anything, this is exactly the group that should be receiving this money. Fixed income beneficiaries, seniors, people with disabilities. These are the people who need it most, and these are the people who vote. Excluding them would be political suicide. Now, I mentioned October as the likely timeline, but there's something else to consider. If we start seeing weakening economic data, if the economy starts struggling, we could see the stimulus payment come out significantly earlier. A recession or major economic contraction would be a strong reason to distribute stimulus money sooner rather than later. We've seen this happen before. When the economy needs a boost, stimulus checks are one of the go-to tools. So if economic conditions deteriorate, don't be surprised if the timeline moves up considerably. There are multiple potential triggers for this payment: a weakening economy, a recession, the midterm elections, or it could be framed as a dividend, a rebate, or economic relief. The name doesn't matter as much as the result. What matters is whether the money actually goes out. If we look back at the stimulus checks that went out in 2021, the only factor that mattered was income. The only people who didn't receive payments were those who earned too much money, or the rare cases where people weren't on record in the system somehow. In fact, the IRS spent years after those stimulus distributions literally begging people to claim their money. There were billions of dollars sitting unclaimed because some people never filed for it. I made multiple videos at the time urging people to claim their money. The point is, they want to get this money out. They want it in people's hands. They're not looking for reasons to exclude you. So here's the bottom line. If you're a Social Security beneficiary, whether you're receiving retirement benefits, SSDI, SSI, survivor's benefits, spousal benefits, or any other type of Social Security payment, you are likely going to qualify for this $2,000 if and when it happens. You do not need to be working. You do not need to file a tax return if your income doesn't require it. The IRS already knows your income through the SSA 1099 that Social Security sends every year, as long as your income is below the thresholds. And for most beneficiaries, it absolutely is. You should be eligible. Now we wait to see how this plays out. If anything changes, if new information comes out, I will be right here with a dedicated video breaking it down for you. That's why it's so important to subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss the announcement when it actually happens. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped clear up your concerns about the $2,000 stimulus, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends and family members who are also on Social Security. The more people who understand how this works, the better. Stay informed, stay patient, and I'll see you in the next video.